I am so done with the 2024 Seattle Mariners. The Tigers own us. Oh my goodness. Was this one of the most frustrating series I have ever witnessed as a Mariner fan? Not only are you in the thick of it in the AL West race, but then you win 3 straight against the Mets. Look like one of the best teams in baseball. And what do? You do the same thing you do the week before, and you absolutely kill all of your momentum. The Tigers win 3 straight in Detroit, sweep the Mariners. They go 5-1 against the Mariners in the last week and a half. I don't know what I just watched. Two-run homers in the last few innings for the Tigers that propelled them to the last couple of victories. Obviously, you had the 15-1 L in game 1. And you can kind of shake that one off. You know, you just beat the Mets 3 times. Maybe you're a little too trigger happy or, a little too high on yourself perhaps. You lose big. Kirby doesn't have it. He gives up 11 earned runs. But then game 2, my goodness, was that heartbreaking. Not only do you give up the 2-run home run, which ends up pushing the game to extras, but once again, you show how incompetent the Mariners are in extra innings and in close game scenarios. 2 years ago, you see the Mariners make the playoffs, lots because of how they responded in those close games. They had a really, really good 1-run win total, and this year it's just not there. Once again, in the 10th inning, unable to do anything, not even move the runner over from second. So obviously, Colin Snyder is going to mess up. I mean, he's given a losing battle, runner on second, nobody out. So you blew that one, game 2. All right, whatever. Let's come back. Let's win game 3. Let's do the same thing we did last week. At the end of the day, it won't be that bad. You would end up still going 5-4 in the last 9 games. You'd have a winning record over a 9-game stretch. You didn't capitalize against the Tigers, but hey, you did good against the Mets. Oh well, let's move on. So you come in today, and what happens? Javi Baez. I mean, I have to rub my eyes. Is this real life? We're getting beat by Javi Baez. This isn't 2016. I don't know what is happening right now with the Seattle Mariners, but my goodness, the late run home runs paired with the Mariners offense continuing to be incompetent. For a couple weeks there, it looked great. Randy Arozarena, all of them that came over, Justin Turner, Julio Rodriguez coming back. Oh, the Mariner offense is back. The Mariner offense. No, it's not. No, it's not. This Mariners offense is still bad. It's still bottom 5 in the entire MLB. Is it slightly better? Sure. But this is not the Mariners offense that's going to get it done. Not only is this Mariner offense incapable of winning a World Series, that's how bad it is, even with the elite pitching staff. I don't know if we're going to have to make the playoffs. I really don't. I felt pretty confident after that 3-game sweep against the Mets that the Mariners would just find a way to sneak into the playoffs. That's what I told my dad. My dad said, I don't know about this Mariners team. We'll see what happens. My gut feeling, I told him, my gut feeling says the Mariners are going to find a way to sneak in. I don't know if that's the AL West or if it's a wild card or what, but I just had that feeling. And now 3 games later, my gut still wants to tell me that, but my mind says this team is simply not good enough. This was a disaster class against a not good team in the Tigers. Twice. How do you let it happen twice? And granted, we should have lost 6 against the Tigers. I mean, if Mitch Haniger doesn't absolutely bail us out in game 3 last week on a couple of calls that could have definitely been strike 3, you're out, see you later. The Mariners lose 6 against the Detroit Tigers. Instead, you go 1-5. Are you kidding me? This is the team that people think are really have a chance to make the playoffs and go into the World Series. Now, listen, I'm not trying to overreact, but it's hard not to when you consistently have these issues pop up and you try to fix it. You fire hitting coaches. You send people down. You call people up. You trade for guys. You pick up guys like Victor Robles off the trade deadline or off the waiver wire. You do all of these different things. A medley of different options. You've done all of them. A through Z, every single possibility to try and fix this offense, you've done. Except for one option. And you know what that option is? Fire Scott Servais. Now, that might be harsh. That might be something that a lot of people don't like. But at this point, I don't know if you have another option. You've consistently tried to fix this offense over the last few years, and it's consistently fallen flat on its face. Might be time soon for Scott Servais to go. Now, I don't know if this is an in-season thing, because I don't think it would necessarily help this year. But, this series in particular has really showed me that I just cannot stand this offense anymore. And it feels like every other scenario, other than spending $500 million in the winter deadline, the only other option, fire Scott Servais. We'll see if the Mariners can figure out how to MacGyver something and sneak into the playoffs this year. But right now, it is not looking good, folks. The Mariners get swept by the Detroit Tigers, and it was not good at all. Before finishing this one off, because, this was kind of a spur-of-the-moment video. I'm about to go to work. I said, I need to talk to someone about this, so I might as well put it on the channel. Game 2 was really the game that I thought the Mariners kind of let slip away. Obviously, today as well, Javi Baez goes deep. Really unfortunate. I mean, Game 2 and Game 3 both, but Game 2 was just so... Bryan Woo does absolutely stellar, and the offense just continues to fall flat on its face. And then Game 3, same thing. You face a pitcher that has been terrible, to say the least. I mean, we're not placing Skubal here. We're facing one of the worst pitchers in the MLB, who starts the game off with walking 4 guys. That's how the freaking game starts. And you can't capitalize? I mean, we had 2 hits, I believe. It was freaking ridiculous. I'm done. I mean, this team is so frustrating because every time they give you life and hope, they just completely ruin not all the momentum, but all of the faith in the entire fan base snapped away. And I'm sure there'll be multiple weeks from here to end of September where I'll start to believe again, because I'm a Mariner fan and that's what I do. There'll be a week where we go 6-1. Julio Rodriguez is going to look like the best player in the MLB. And the very next week, what will happen? We'll lose a series. We'll get swept by the A's. We'll lose 3 or 4 to the Angels. I mean, it's going to happen. So get ready for it, because it always happens. It always happens to the Mariners, especially this year. So just know you're going to feel a lot more ups this year, but there's going to be a lot more downs as well. And unfortunately, right now, I think the biggest down of it all is that the Mariners will miss the 2024 playoffs. Simply don't think this offense is good enough, which is a damn shame, because the Mariners pitching is potentially the best pitching staff I have ever witnessed in my entire life. I think it's the best pitching staff the Mariners have ever had in franchise history, and I genuinely think that a baseball fan that is honestly paying attention and has seen the last 50 years of baseball could potentially put this pitching staff in with the top 10, 15 pitching staffs of all time. That's how good they are. No one has really gotten hurt outside of Bryan Woo, and even then, he's still playing ball here in mid-August. Your 1 through 5 is nasty. You have a good bullpen. Granted, the last 2 games gave up a 2-run shot, but whatever, that shouldn't matter. You shouldn't have to always rely on 1-run pitching performances. Score some freaking runs, people. What happened with the Mets? Where was that against Detroit? So inconsistent. NW Sportscast. I'm out of here, guys. The Mariners lose another one. 3 straight losses. I'm done. I'm done for right now. I'll hopefully believe again tomorrow. Probably will, because I'm a Mariner fan like I just told you, but whatever. I'm done. See you later. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Catch you guys.